Well, after a brief hiatus stateside, I am back, and so are we for the Hockey North podcast here. I'm your host, Brendan Paul, and we got a lot to get packed through in a short amount of time, and it's playoff time all across the junior hockey and hockey world in general here, as we got lots to cover. First, we will briefly recap the Cariboo Cougars and the Northern Capital season. U18s a couple of weeks ago falling short against the Okanagan Rockets. Their season is done. Northern Capitals, a valiant effort, losing to the Vancouver Comets in 2 games down in the Lower Mainland. They obviously busted out that 3-game series against the Vancouver Island Seals earlier on in March, but a good end, a disappointing finish maybe, but a very thrilling playoff run for the Capitals as well. So congratulations to both teams on a job well done this season, and we look to see them back on the ice in late August for the summer/fall camp. Moving on to the Western Hockey League, Prince George Cougars, 2-0 heading to Spokane for games 3, 4, and possibly 5 in their best-of-7 first-round matchup. Cougars winning 6-3 after falling behind 3-1 on the Friday. Then, of course, they hang on for a 3-2 victory against the same Spokane Chiefs on the Saturday. Josh Ravensburg in first star with 43 saves. That contest, Carson Carls out due to injury after a hit he sustained from Brody Gillespie in game number 1 of that series. And, of course, to Spokane needing a couple wins to really get back into the series against the Cougars team looking to punch their ticket to round 2 and atone for last year's playoff disappointment against the Portland Winterhawks. BCHL, Prince George Spruce Kings finishing in first place in the Coastal East Division, and they will play the Langley Rivermen in round 1 best-of-7 series. That takes place Friday and Saturday from the Copar Memorial Arena. Games 3 and 4 of that series will head back to Langley, and of course games 5 through 7 if necessary back at Copar. Game 6 if necessary at the George Preston. But a great season for the Prince George Spruce Kings, setting atop the division. Ryder Green, a bounce-back year for him. Carter Hesselgrave, a near 25-goal season for him in his final junior regular season. Of course, Mason Lowen also reaching the double-digit mark as well. And, of course, congratulations to the whole Spruce Kings team for a very solid 54-game dress rehearsal as it gets set for the first round against the Langley Rivermen. Elsewhere, I want to send off Brett Fudger, Cariboo alumni, who wrapped up his collegiate hockey career in one of the NCAA tournaments earlier this month. Ditto for Curtis Hammond. His team at St. Norbert fell in the quarterfinals against the top-ranked Hobart College by a 2-1 score, so congratulations, Curtis, for a job well done in terms of college hockey. Also, of course, across in the Western Hockey League still, in terms of Northern BC prospects. Evan Gardner of the Saskatoon Blades, they are tied up 1-1 against the Edmonton Oil Kings in their best-of-7. Games 3 and 4 shipped into Toontown there after Sunday's overtime victory for the Oil Kings. Also worth mentioning, of course, Cameron Schmidt, Diego Johnson of Prince George and Fort St. James, respectively. They're playing against each other in the first round as the Seattle Thunderbirds are down 2 Cobb to the Penticton Vs. So congratulations to both those players on making the playoffs. Of course, the Thunderbirds, who were out of the playoffs by a good 6 or 7 points at the trade deadline, storming all the way back to clinch the 7th spot in the Western Conference. So congratulations to Cameron as well as the rest of the Thunderbirds. We'll see if they can make a series out of it against the 2-seeded Penticton Vs. Brooke Disher of Fort St. John, her collegiate career has ended, losing in one of the final games against the top-ranked Wisconsin Badgers. Of course, Brooke Disher now eligible for the Professional Women's Hockey League entry draft. We'll see how far she goes in that sequence later on in the spring and summer months here. So congratulations to Brooke on 4 great years split between Boston University and the Ohio State Buckeyes. In the AJHL, Grand Prairie Storm in the North Final against the Whitecourt Wolverines. Of course, Rylan Bissett of the Chetwynd, BC. Of course, he started the year with the Chilliwack Chiefs, He had 4 assists in 4 playoff games in that sweep in the first round for the Storm. Should be a good one against Grand Prairie. Also on a separate note, of course, Matthew Dillard, a former Caribou Cougar, also on the Grand Prairie Storm as they try to upend the Whitecourt Wolverines in round number 2. Kootenay International Hockey League, and what a run it's been for the Williams Lake Mustangs. No shortage of Caribou Cougars alumni on that roster. You got Logan Howe, Carter Kruger, Blake Lamb, of course, Kruger and Lamb, both APs on that roster, but also includes Keenan Holland, Blake Collison, Declan Pocock. I mean, you name it, there's 7 or 8 guys on that roster that have played for the Caribou Cougars that are on that team that are ready for round 3. They will take on the Princeton Posse in the South Final. Princeton getting the best of Revelstoke in 6 games. Smartly for the Mustangs, they swept the Kamloops Storm 4 straight games after a hard-fought, grueling 7-game series against the Quesnel River Rush in round number 1. Of course, congratulations to Isaiah Baggery on a well-played season in his second year with the Quesnel River Rush. So congratulations to him. Also, Kenyon McIsaac of Prince George going into the postseason with the Coquitlam Express. They take on the Chilliwack Chiefs in round number 1. So congratulations to Kenyon on that, as well as all the other northern players in those leagues getting set for playoff action. Of course, last but certainly not least, the SJHL playoffs. Josh Sale and the Weyburn Red Wings looking to punch their ticket to the next round of the playoffs. They're up 3-2 in their best of 7 against the Nipawin Hawks. Also with Northern ties, Reed Arbery, Landon Alexander of the Flin Flon Bombers. They swept the Estevan Bruins in 4 straight games in their quarterfinal series. So congratulations to those two. And moving on, they will obviously play in the first semifinal in round 2 against the winners of the aforementioned series. Of course, you got the Battleford North Stars winning in 5 games over Melfort. Yorkton and Melville, they're at 3-2 right now, courtesy of the Terriers trying to sweep out their Highway 10 rivals and punch their ticket to round 2. But you got the KI, you've got the AJ, you've got the MJ. You got no shortage of hockey playoffs going on here across the junior hockey landscape here. And one thing that's maybe not northern related, but one thing that I found interesting during my travels is that Summerland coming back into the KIJHL as an expansion franchise. So welcome back to Summerland in the South Okanagan, coming back to the KI in short order. But there you have it. Prince George Cougars looking to put a stranglehold on their season. Prince George Spruce Kings getting set for round 1 of the playoffs. Williams Lake Mustangs, round number 3 in the KIJHL. They will take on the Princeton Posse, and of course, wishing all the players of our Caribou programs and northern programs near and wide very safe and happy summer and off season as they get for another hockey season. Of course, congratulations to Brody Wood and Jack Tidsbury of the Vernal Oilers for winning the United States Premier Hockey League title, with, of course, Prince George native Ryan House at the helm as head coach, and longtime coach and player Derek Wood going into the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame in upstate New York. That is happening the first weekend of April. Of course, he played in the Binghamton area for a handful of seasons in the United Hockey League. So congratulations to Derek on getting inducted there. But there you have it. That's going to do it for our return episode of the Hockey North podcast. We'll be back to our video interviews and segments, and of course, everything all related to hockey in the North here on next week's show of the Hockey North podcast. Thank you very much for joining us, and this is Brendan Paulou signing off here, and thanks for sticking with us here on the Hockey North podcast.